The book beneath the barn. Free expression, oral tradition, and the field where land and story survive fear. Last week, I wrote about land contracting and disappearing. And then I immediately became terrified and afraid of the ramifications it would have on my newly landed peaceful life. My response? I paywalled the piece. I have never experienced a time when I edited myself more than I do today, with second guessing, backtracking, and questioning. As a writer, this terrifies me. As an American, I'm baffled. As humans, I don't think we quite understand how important freedom of expression is, even when someone expresses a view we don't like. My Turkish ex-husband and I fought about many things, but nothing compared to our battles over free speech. He grew up in a country that didn't have expressive freedom and was indoctrinated to believe that public sentiment needed to be policed to ensure order and safety. 20 years later, he's changed his tune after watching his home country dissolve under a tight regime that punishes free and public discourse. I could write about this all day, but I won't. We have enough constraints in our lives. So this week, I'm writing about land expanding as I take some time to breathe over the embers of my fears. 26 years ago, I quit my real jobs and took a position cleaning stalls at a farm in the dark corner of the Blue Ridge Mountains. It was never meant to be my main gig, the cleaning stalls, but one choice followed another, and suddenly, well, slowly, I was teaching people how to ride horses and running a farm. Now it's time to write the book. In retrospect, I understand that I wouldn't have been able to write the book until farming had the opportunity to work through me, to carve its aching magic, and to knock all the delusions out of my head, planting some ground-centered knowledge of who I am, what I want, and who I can be beyond all the programming and indoctrination and striving in the cult of life. It would be really easy to just tear some pages out of the notebook that I'm writing in and share an excerpt with you every week. But I'm not going to do that. It would be too simple. Instead, y'all will get the process. This thing I do with horses and humans every day isn't easy, and that's the whole point. It never feels neat or tidy, and it very rarely feels like a win. Stable Roots is a reader-supported publication. To receive new posts and support my work, consider becoming a free or paid subscriber. Your support will go even further, with every penny going back into the farm that I run in upstate South Carolina, where we teach people how to return to the land, to connect with horses, and to connect with themselves. I'm so glad that you're here with me. During the pandemic, I was one of a few voices in the horse world who emerged to talk about showing people how to connect and work beside horses in a different way, something unlike the way I learned how to ride, or my mother or my grandmother. My goal was to present a way of riding or groundwork that could be accessible to the average person, yet also rich in the knowledge that was edited out when horses stopped being our primary means of transportation in the 20th century. When horses became our recreation and companions, we forgot something essential. We forgot what it meant for the horse to be a horse. We also forgot ourselves along the way. My farm and my work exist to help people find their way back. The surge in unconventional horsemanship reached its peak in popularity, while the core of my work kept growing and adapting. Instagram didn't help. The polished sound bites, trainers having access to building online libraries didn't help either. You can't reduce horsemanship to a flowchart. And yet here we are. The oddballs doing the new/old work each day, struggling through hazy vision and trying to figure out next steps. I lost my farm and gained a new one. My father died, the snow came, the bills mounted. Then something this week broke inside of me. I remembered my way back to the person I was when I quit my real jobs and took a position cleaning horse stalls. I remembered that the whole purpose of this enterprise was to write a book. So I'm doing that now, and I thank you for walking beside me, privy to my innermost thoughts as I grasp blindly into taking nothing and making something. The words I send to you every week will be shorter in length, but deeper in purpose, because at its core, I want to help you find your purpose. And if you have no clue where to start or what finding your purpose even means, I'm here for that too. Let's start somewhere together. As for those of us who started imagining the horse world in a brand new way during the pandemic, the fruits are beginning to ripen. Where we were once outliers, there are hints that the traditional horse world is starting to wake up and notice. They're using their words too. They're telling their stories. As Rumi said, out beyond ideas of wrongdoing and right doing, there is a field. I'll meet you there. Where the soul lies down in that grass, the world is too full to talk about. I loved Rumi as a poet before I met my own Turk. Rumi was a 13th century Sufi mystic, writing in Persian, Turkish, Greek, and Arabic. We know Rumi today because his words survived the centuries. He felt the call to write down his thoughts, and somehow, in a very different, changed world, we're still reading them today, and they still resonate. My library is also packed with books written by horse people. Before Amazon changed the world of booksellers and publishing, I ordered out-of-print classics by mail and anxiously waited for the cracked bindings and the musty scent of other readers' lives to arrive in my mailbox. The thoughts contained in those books are accessible because someone felt the urge to write them all down. But there are so many lost and forgotten breakthroughs that never made the cut of time. It feels like I've spent most of my career chasing down the ghosts of methods that escape documentation. But this isn't just about the written word. When you drive into my farm and get out of your car, you're walking into the accumulated wealth of oral tradition. Riding a horse or doing groundwork cannot happen without a framework of history. The horse has literally made our history, no matter where your people come from in the world. Which brings me to the land beneath our feet and why it's so important to expand our thoughts into it, to notice that it's there. If we don't take the time to preserve and acknowledge that land now, we'll only notice it when it's gone. The land, like books, holds our stories. What is your story? Where do you keep your accumulated knowledge? What stories are asking you to continue, to pass them down? Let's listen to our stories together. I'll meet you in Rumi's field. Love, Kim.